we are ready. Map flight underway. Consulate between Rise Nation and Team Reciprocity. We get underway with the operator bans. It'll be Team Reciprocity starting on the defense. And like I said, the roam game for Reciprocity on Consulate, not to be trifled with and not to be forgotten. It'll be Reciprocity banning out a Ying to try and limit the aggression on the side of Rise as well. We saw a more aggressive, I would say, Rise on Oregon against Space Station 2 weeks ago than we'd seen in past playdays. A Blackbeard in turn banned out by Rise. So that's going to limit a lot of the repel play, and there's a couple players on Reciprocity who can play a mean Blackbeard. So
did he just roar XD?
And an Uwu.
Okay, well, it's understandable because Fox has been spending so much time with Fuya, but when it comes to the RAR XD, you're like, man, damn, dude. What is this? Are you proposing to your goth girlfriend, well, emo girlfriend, sorry, at 13 years of age on the playground? Anyways.
Okay.
Ying Blackbeard, it's very like obvious, like strict, but yes, that's exactly how I would see it. Ying, Blackbeard, Valkyrie, and the Pulse at the end.
Yeah, that's 2 Nitro Cells and 2 Advanced Information Operators removed from play. The one thing that will allow, though, is a tandem of Echo and Maestro for plant denial, not only in the basement, but this could open up some interesting Teller's Archives play, because the biggest facet of playing Tellers and Archives is that you desperately need as much information as possible on the main floor to understand where they're coming from and where the directionality of the push is starting. But Reciprocity will start on the defense, and they'll only opt to bring a Mira to the top floor, as well as a 6-pick from Laxing onto a castle. Not all that unusual, honestly. Castle's kind of taken a back seat in a lot of play, really. We haven't seen a lot of Castle in general in a while, but Laxing will pick up the mantle, and Retro with this this Mira facing the bathroom window. This is, again, a bit of an old hat strategy. Seems like we're going deep into the strat books here early on. We had that that old customs hold for Ventilation Workshop for what? Okay.
What is? What?
I'm not sure what kind of visibility you're going to get from that, especially when you're castling off Nectar window. I mean, you've got the rotate for Yellow Stare, so I guess you can play it deep from behind Yellow. Could you get an? I don't think you can't get an angle from Yellow into A. No, it's too.
No,
it's too harsh of an angle, even through that mirror.
You can't get it through the door, even.
I mean, if you pop it and then play it on the backside against the castle, you've got.
Why don't you just open the wall at that point?
We'll have to wait and see how they elect to run this, but crazy. We'll start things off with Yellow Skylip with Skeleton Key, doing some destruction, some reconstruction of that wall onto the backside of the cubby inside of B-Bomb. And it seems like a very B-Bomb-centric take here coming out from Rise Nation. You've got 4 members of the attack all stacked outside of the yellow doorway and the B windows. England already on Repel with drones not exactly making it inside the window frame. You'll have to go back down and recollect that and try and redeploy it inside the window, but we've also got Acid on the Nomad. And we talked about the rotation ability for Reciprocity on defense on Consulate. Nomad will help limit that.
Very true, and it just obviously shuts down players like Laxing, you know, Fogs, Mark, Skies, all of these players.
All of them.
Yeah, they really have a lot of flexibility when it comes to the sort of roam play, if need be. You know, Mark on the Jaeger playing, well, this is basically the mirror window tap. This is why they're using it. You know, you castle things off, but you can also see, and you don't have to deal with a Capitao that basically pushes you off of the connector. That's the context of why you would set it up in that way, and when you see the amount of reinforcements they have, it really does help the setup that you end up having. But you're stacking a lot of bodies in this area. Should damage be done from the yellow stairs, then it can really spiral out of control. Fox will put himself in the bathroom. You see there's a way to shut down the rotations using Nomad's air jab. Damage done to the Mira as we speak, as somehow Retro's...
What?
Well, no, he runs right into it, and a second one as well from Vandal. They're all stacking on top of one another. The Capitao just gets 2 freebies.
Well, the precarious situation is they're still pushing into a mirror window that is currently not occupied, but they might not know that. Angle from above is still being facilitated by Vandal and a flank coming out, but on the drone currently is Hyper outside of the bench windows. Sorry, not Hyper. It'll be the vault in from Acid, the dispatch of Laxing. Mark will fall in tandem, and now it's Skies alone who collects one from inside a connector, but his mirror window is popped, being pinched from every single conceivable angle, and Hyper will be the one to put him 6 feet under. Skies will fall, and Reciprocity will drop round number 1 with a rather intricate setup. I don't hate it. Clearly a good read to see that Rise were going to stack for a B Windows and Yellow Stairs push. Just ultimately exposing themselves to that Yellow Skylight and the Kapatawa Vandal really being that piercing of the armor, the real pushing force on that round for Rise.
And that's why sometimes what you want to do is to have the Castle Barricade on Yellow. If you're going to open up the, which I actually like this, opening up the entirety of the bathroom from Yellow into it is good, but you have to barricade the entrance from Yellow into the doorway to just not have to worry as much about the Kapatao. Obviously, that barricade can be destroyed. You have the grenades, you have things for it. But it's something that'll require some utility to be used. And overall, a few holes here and there in strategy for Reciprocity, but I can see this working. We said the same thing about the ways that they were running their garage mirror window on Clubhouse when they played against EG on there. And, there was one, I want to say, lucky round where that was the blitz play from Canadian, but otherwise, that's a pretty solid strat. EXG used it against them last week. It's not like these are bad strats. They're different. Maybe there's a thing here or there to kind of change or adapt into, but otherwise, they kind of freshen things up. I like this sort of thing. Though, Reciprocity will go away from the top floor site, and they'll go down to the basement, try to play into Garage. Signal disruptor is being set up by Fox to set, and just shut down any drones that will come in and get information. The Thatcher, though, that is so significant in North America, at this point is just the #1 played operator in the region on attack. It's just great to deal with the fact that Mute is such a big operator, the fact that bandit tricks are a thing. All of that, you just don't have to worry about it anymore.
Well, this is a more standard setup that we've seen time and time again, the bathroom mirror, but it will be an exothermic charge erupting onto the garage wall that will kick things off for Rise. Quite early is, like you said, Hyper facilitating the roll on Thatcher will immediately pop off all the bandit charges that Laxing had pre-placed on the wall. No attempt at a trick, as you've got Crazy on the buck. You've also got, honestly, anyone could just rappel on the window and fire through the floor. No one's got the advanced breach really to open it up on the soft breach other than Crazy, but it's still a precarious position and a pretty easy spot to pre-fire from that rappel outside the piano windows. You've also got air jabs now being set up by Acid on rotations through the antechamber into piano. So again, Rise single-minded on their push here. They're not trying to facilitate like a split push on multiple directions, but they've done a good job of at least opening up as much purview of the garage wall as possible, and it's going to be up to Reciprocity to play this from the back, to be able to play this at range with Toxic Babes from Retro, Nitrocells from Fox and Mark, and possibly Laxing. Also got Skies, who's apparently undroned upstairs, still playing that mirror inside of bathroom.
Yeah, it's a huge wall that they can use into move, but oof, Mark's so close to finding the kill in the back on England, but we'll have a pretty easy ingress in there as finally Fox has been taken away on the Mute, and 2 kills in a row. Wow, they chained them with the L85. Hyper. And Mark and Retro taken away. Headshots galore. Laxing and Skies, the duo, last two alive versus the 5 here. Now their opponents, but Nomad already set up her air jab, and it's definitely having an effect as Acid will find one more kill. And a second one as well. A great bit of play there. Just peek around through the hatch and find Skies. Kind of just both line up for him, and there you go. It's Rise just running over Reciprocity. It's almost as if they didn't exist the whole round.
Well, I mean, we talk about Team Reciprocity as a team that prides themselves on their fragging ability, and that is quite evident. They have 1 kill through 2 rounds. And it was an 1v5 for Skies in the first round. So they're not getting the picks they need. They're also playing quite far back from the objectives themselves. Both on that top floor setup, very focused on Yellow Stairs and castling themselves out and reinforcing themselves out of B-Bomb topside. And it looks like Reciprocity will try again downstairs on the defense. Skies 6-picking off of the Jaeger. Maybe trying to find, going to a Vigil. I guess that'll limit the droning ability for Rise. But it seemed like Rise didn't really care that Skies was using that bathroom mirror. They didn't want the piano control. They didn't need the piano control. As soon as they had Hyper Thatcher the wall, it was wide open for England to blow clear with those exothermic charges. So like I said, Skies with 1 kill, the only pick on the side of Reciprocity, and it's Rise Nation storming out to a quick 2-0 lead with barely any resistance from the side of Reciprocity. Also a lack of a roaming Reciprocity really on the defense. We've seen Laxing try it a couple times and get shut down, and that's about it really. He's the only one really to leave the objective when the Skies holding down that mirror and bathroom, and he hasn't had any success on his roam game just yet. However, it's still quite early.
Now Fox again with a pretty similar setup to what we saw before. We got a closer signal disruptor to shut down anything coming in from the main doorway, but I'm curious to find where Reciprocity actually changed things around, and the big part is Skies playing the Vigil here, but otherwise it's all pretty stock standard to what they had before, and I'm not sure if the Vigil is going to be your saving grace.
Skies bringing a bulletproof camera as opposed to impacts. That'll limit his ability to bust out of the bathroom in explosive fashion, should he desire. Vandal droning out the back of Blue. And looks like Rise have completely opted to swap up the take here. You got 3 people stacked inside of the front lobby, and they'll push into circle desk 4 now as they've missed the drone on the backside, but England will still collect the kill into Mark. Retro will fall, Laxing with 2 though, as they line up for him in the kitchen doorway. England still pressing into the kitchen. It's gone 0 to 100 in a heartbeat as Laxing is in behind the black car, awaiting Acids push down yellow stairs, missing crucial shots through the windows. He's got pressure on his backside. Flashbangs come soaring over those kill holes on the top of the wall. Vandal is down, it's to 2v3. Foxay will collect the kill, but immediately be downed in turn, and now rushing down yellow is Acid. Foxay will fall. Laxing at yellow pillar removes Acid from play. A 1v2 unsuccessful for England as a rush for Rise all falls to pieces. Laxing, I think that was 3 on the round for him. 4 on the round, sorry, for Laxing, and Foxay with 1. Good response there from Reciprocity, but it seemed like Rise had the game plan figured out in round number 2. Didn't want to replicate it in round number 3 in the rush.
And they couldn't.
Just, it didn't formulate into anything successful there as soon as Laxing got that lineup on the kitchen door.
And the thing is, you can't rush if you don't have information on what's inside. The mute jammers line up and delay / stop a lot of the information gathering that you can have on most of the entries into the site, right? What's your other option? You go up through the hatch in bathroom? That's your only other option. You don't have really many here, many things to kind of flex around and play with them. So this is good adaptation, even maybe in just a couple of mute jammers that were positioned in different ways that would stop the play. Rise wanted to adapt, wanted to go for a more aggressive take. It didn't have the opportunity for it. The Vigil ultimately didn't have the greatest effect, but just being there is something that could be used for later on. Laxing have a pretty good effect on the previous round. It's definitely something that puts Reciprocity back into contention, because the first 2 rounds, it basically seemed that they were non-existent, not even present on the map. So Reciprocity will go all the way back up to defend by the console chambers, and it seems like they've kind of changed around from what they were doing in the very first round, playing here with Amira. She's available, but not going to be run all the time.
I hate whoever did this in the update, or whatever changed in the update, where you can't just one-hit those chairs anymore upstairs on Consulate. You have to bash them in with the full might of Thor every single time, and it's stressful, honestly. But
life is hard.
Like you said, completely swapping up the defensive side now are Reciprocity. Rise Nation also having England's 6-pick off the Thermite to the Zofia, completely abandoning any hard breach potential. But again, they stack 4 outside of the console windows. So early round here, as only 30 seconds have passed, but it looks like Rise are angling again for a B windows take. The only problem with that is the fluidity for Reciprocity's defense this time. No longer cordoned off by castle barricades and reinforcements and mirror windows, keeping their defense static. They now have the opportunity to be much more fluid on their defense, and that's a scary proposition for Rise to contend with.
Crazy going through the motions here of any Buck player, just to go up, destroy the top half of the 4-meter wall, entry into the console chamber. In the meantime, just setting up, moving up their drones. They're going to be kind of slowed down by the fact that Fox is playing the mute and has the setup done. I wonder if he's running his shotgun. Yeah, the usual M59. I'm still curious if he's running the red dot on it or not. But SMG-11 at this range, definitely go for some one-taps, but he's not really sure if there's someone by the window or not. There's England in the meantime, speaking of windows. Just by the, oh no, Hyper. The last bullet to connect to the head of Mark. That's not great for the Jaeger. lose him out in the extra firepower early on. Not much damage done to the Thatcher as well, as he'll find... Oh, no. He find the second player just drop... What are you doing? Maestro Cameron is going to get destroyed here by Crazy. Just a bit of semblance of logic being put into play as Laxing runs out. He finds a second kill and a third one! Laxing, absolutely massive! Fox with one to connect on a Crazy. Acid is last man alive. Poor from Rise to just flex around as Laxing will find one more, 2 rounds in a row as Gabe is just collecting tags.
Took him a minute to rev up the engine, but it seems like the Challenger is in full force. 8 kills in 2 rounds
I
for
understood that
Laxing.
reference.
Yes, you did. If anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, go check Laxing's Twitter.
Yeah.
Well, it was Rise pulling ahead to an aggressive 2-0 lead, but it's Reciprocity answering in turn with 2 consecutive of their own in a dominant fashion in the second half there. The first half, at least the second Garage defense, not as dominant, but a good reactionary hold in turn to the rush coming. Skies will 6-pick off of an Echo to a Mira for a lobby defense. That is something you don't see every day. Typically, you would favor the Echo on a lobby defense for more visibility and the option for plant denial inside of Circle Desk and Piano, honestly, if you're playing extremely off-site. But, hey, seems like Reciprocity are enjoying the rigid nature of Mira, but they've also brought out the Maestro now. They tried to go for a while out there without it, either the Maestro or the Echo. No, they've brought the Maestro, and it seems just that visibility enough. And honestly, the fluidity of their defense, like I said, they're not castle barricading and reinforcing them off into one cordoned-off section. They have the fluidity, Laxing with a flank and a 4K again. Seems like this is Reciprocity going back to their old ways and having a lot of success with it.
Yeah, and you're not really surprised seeing it, because this is, as you said, Reciprocity going back to their old ways. This is the Reciprocity we know. Fox again with some pretty good spots for signal disruptors. Just going to make sure he slows down the drone process from Rise Nation. It'll force them to put themselves in a bit weaker and more exposed positions to get those off and allow themselves to run the to run their drones through and just spot out what their opponents are setting up their defenders, etc., etc. Overall, there you go. Now, okay, we don't know who's there. We have to overexpose ourselves. You know, we have to take out the utility. We're not even sure where it is. So you have to play kind of that slow game. And just on a site like Lobby, where it's a site that really requires you to put in the time and effort to peel off your opponents one by one, time is just so important for you.
Scary happenstance there for Fox as he narrowly evades the fire of Vandal coming in, and Laxing's going to open up a prone hole just to spot a drone on the other side. So he'll back off, pre-fires a mass through that tiny peak hole that he's made on the connector wall, but it won't connect as Laxing, well aware that drone will return to a safer angle behind that reinforcement and await Rise to condense inside of that meeting room, and you still got a double hold upstairs. With Fox abandoning meeting room, you still have strong top floor holds. You've got Retro on the Maestro with purview to the A-bomb door from Visa Stairs, and you've got Laxing inside of console office looking in through these punch holes in the connector window. It's still a lot of control upstairs, and now Fox is allowed to return to site for free. You still got that Nitro Cell as well at the disposal of the defense. It seems like Rise Nation having trouble assessing what their directionality should be and where they should push to try and eliminate this top floor hold.
And the Maestro as well is still upstairs, and no, unfortunately, they don't hit the Evil Eye that's still in the lobby. This is very unfortunate. It's a pretty good spot when you're defending on the lobby. I really like this position, but nobody can destroy this right now. You need to bring a grenade, and I'm not sure if Gracie has anything in the buck to kind of help with this. He's going to use it, though, to blow open a hole in Laxing and still have an extra grenade. England won't even need anything as he just bypasses the Evil Eye. This forces the Maestro to get on it. Mark will run around from the back, find the kill on the Capitao. Can he get the second one as well? No, it's England to turn around and stop the plant. Go for the kill, and Mark will go down. Skies has a soft mirror window for him to use, but Retro, unfortunately, misses a close shot there. 4 players left alive from Rise Nation as Retro is so low. Fox is now taken away. You just need to stop the plant. Crazy will find one more. Skies is last alive with no Nitro Cell, and the Fuser has been set. Open up the hatch, but won't drop through it. Just trying to play the waiting game against his opponents, but he knows that this is kind of an uphill battle, to say the least. Vandal has come back, which is great, but I'm not sure if Skies will be able to make it through. No, it's England to land the fire from the front side of the lobby. Rise Nation will pick up yet another round here on the attack, this time on lobby. It all seemed to go so well early on for Reciprocity, though.
Yeah, Reciprocity were stalling out Rise pretty well. There was a lot of good time control upstairs. They still had the real estate under lock inside of CEO, looking into meeting room, and then one frag grenade from Crazy splits it wide open. And Rise take another round back, and they stop that little bit of a run that Reciprocity were on. And it's, again, Reciprocity getting aggressive there. I liked the run out, honestly, from Mark. I did like that, the jumping out of the antechamber windows to flank. It was just at that point he tried to contest while being detected in the middle of a double doorway. It's probably the easiest kill Vandals had all evening. And at that point, you lose the control for a plant denial. And you got to wonder maybe if they didn't have the Mira, because the Mira got smoked off.
Yeah.
And there was no visibility. Maybe if you had the Echo that Sky 6 picked off of, do you maybe have the ability to stall out that plant and allow Retro, instead of trying to contest upstairs because you know the plant's going down right now, instead, do you have the possibility to give Retro a little more time to rotate down yellow stairs instead, because it was a pretty heavy stack for Rise Nation members inside that circle desk, and then all the probably could have chewed through a couple of those members. But 2020 hindsight.
Yeah. What's interesting is that we're getting to see the effect of the pulse ban on this. A lot of times you see the pulse playing from below, right? It does end up working very well on the side of Rise, and Reciprocity is a team that ran that pulse very effectively. Look at the plays that Fox was able to pull off as well with the op. On that defense in lobby, we talk a lot about the hatch into lobby from the stairs in the basement. There's quite a few things that can be done by using the pulse in those certain situations, and not having them there is not great. And obviously for the defense, you're kind of left with not a ton of information because your Valkyrie's away, and you don't have those cameras that just give you a bit of info on where the setup is coming from the attack. Where are they right now? We just need to have a beat, some sort of idea, without having to rely on pure audio, which is not always something that you can or want to rely on.
Scary moment there for Acid as he hears a Nitro Cell be prepped, possibly right up against his castle barricade, but he'll pop the barricade open with the 12 punches necessary to dismantle it, and then he'll immediately peel out of dodge to evade any actions. None was tossed, though, so Reciprocity conserving their utility, and the second exothermic charge will detonate now. Again, opening up the entirety of that garage panel so they can look into the objective. And again, Reciprocity playing well deep into kitchen and the CCTV office. No one really playing anywhere close up. And Crazy again with the frag grenades. We talk about BC, but Crazy is on one tonight. Sky's the top control inside a bathroom taken care of. That was all the way from outside downtown. Crazy hitting a 3 with that nade. He's still got one in the back pocket, and Rise looking to push in for a plant.
So all the utility being thrown in the back. Rise will move in. England not taking any damage, but he's not even going for the plant so far. It'll allow Hyper, though, to move in and go for the bait. Mark will find the kill on Vandal. It's not the one that he's looking for. Hyper will find one more, just sitting in between the van. Crazy with one more grenade on a Fox, and Retro is last man alive against the 4. Rise Nation looking to go up 4-2 at the end of the half. Retro has quite a bit of work to be done. You see, there's so much time for Rise Nation, they're already outside. All the players just looking at it, there's probably already Nomad air jab on that diffuser. You're just...
Hey guys, how are you now?
This is Kill Bill Volume 4. This is Kill Retro. There you go.
There you go.
England was a pretty easy shot there, and the half is done with Rise up 4-2. Very surprising given the way that Reciprocity has been playing overall in the season. They're
stumbling.
They're looking kind of weak in this.
It's a scary proposition. Reciprocity falling off after a remarkable run to the first half of the season in Pro League. Then you have their run at SI, which trumped a lot of people's expectations, mine included. I'll be honest about that. But now here, we're seeing a little bit of a different side of Reciprocity, especially against teams that we've noted a couple times before aren't as high up in the standings as Reciprocity. You've got EXG, who are in 6th currently, who got a win against them last week. And now you've got Rise Nation, who are in 7th, who are also in a commanding lead right now heading into the half. Not to say that this couldn't be another circumstance of Evil Geniuses versus Space Station Gaming version 2 from last week, where Evil Geniuses, notably, were up 4-2 at the half, and Space Station run it all the way back and get a 7-5 win. So, Reciprocity by no means out of this, just looking much more human, and right now it's Laxing in control. He has those 8 kills leading the pack of Reciprocity right now, but it should be noted, the only rounds they've won are when Laxing gets kills. And when Laxing gets a 4K are the only rounds that Reciprocity have won. So this isn't what we're also used to for Reciprocity. We're used to a very deep team sharing the workload between all 5 of them. And yet right now it's one man leading the charge in 2 specific rounds. And honestly, it's Sky's left alone in a lot of those situations where he's just kind of put on an island in a 1vx and there's not a lot of hope. That time it was Retro because he was playing Smoke instead of Skies, but it's been tough, honestly, to hold down the site control for Reciprocity. In those rounds they've lost, it seemed like the site control was just completely eviscerated in heartbeats by Rise.
Now Reciprocity just kind of taking their time early on. At the half, they really need to be looking forward to just more effect. Now, Sky's so close there, doing a decent chunk of damage to England in the back through the open up wall and the doorway into connector, but it's just a bit of early damage here for Mr. Alex Magor. And just continuing to drone on in. They'll spot one player here, the Jaeger of Hyper playing downstairs. Not really surprising at all to see him in a position like this, but this is Rise just putting a lot of flexibility in their operators. The Bandit on this site is not really your most played up, to say the least. But with the utility that he offers, it's definitely something to look into. And having the Thermite as well, in my opinion, not a great op for the style of attack that you're going to go for, especially if your push is going to go from admin and not from yellow.
Yeah, typically you'd see a Hibana here to open up the back of the long desk wall into A, but obviously as a Thermite, there's no hope in hell of you making it back there safely and having the time to put off an exothermic charge and detonate it and have it go off of it before being shot, or you being shot while you're trying to deploy it. So utilizing the utility elsewhere, maybe Reciprocity prepared for a different attack, or maybe this is part of their game script. But for now, it'll be Hyper, who was spotted out on a drone inside of Circle Desk, and concussion nades come raining out from Foxay and the Zofia. Moro as well, as flashbangs come raining in. Reciprocity dumping a lot of utility in as they want to go for a plant execute. Foxay not in control of Diffuser, but Skies will make it in. The biggest problem now is the Yokai drones to worry about, and a beautiful Nitro Cell down from below is crazy. Will take care of Skies. That's the Diffuser gone. Foxay choking on gas in the corner on 5 HP. He'll get down and finished off to the floor by Crazy as well. The pings from the Yokai, all the information from Acid right now, crucial to stalling out this plant attempt from Reciprocity. Rise Nation in the driver's seat up 5v3, but the health advantage slightly on the side of Reciprocity now as Mark will dispatch a Vandal. You still have the connector control, and as he looks away, a peek comes out. Hyper will take down Retro, and another one in his body count for Mark. So it's all down to Laxing now on a 1v4, pushing through. Oh! What a shot by Laxing. Drops Hyper and Crazy now rushing through. He still has the Yokais to worry about, though. And now it'll disorient him. Acid with one shot. Another one for Laxing. Down to the 1v1, but there's not enough time. Laxing has to push for the kill on 5 HP. Oh, but Acid will close it out. Nearly a miraculous run for Laxing to pull it back for Reciprocity, but it's Acid, the clutch potential on the Echo inside of Bathroom, and Hyper giving respect where respect is due.
We've seen Skies pull off something like this before, right? Also the 4K, but it was still not enough to win the round, and unfortunately, that 4K has zero impact. Beautiful to see.
It's tough.
Zero impact.
So does that push Laxing to 12 kills in 3 rounds? It's either 11 or 12.
He's pretty good. He's on fire. It's just...
It's the new car, man. It's the new car.
Exactly
Rise, though, hey, can't take this away from them. Their utility dispersion there was brilliant. The information they had at their disposal to constantly stop out the plant attempts coming out from Reciprocity. Yeah, Laxing with 3 on the round, up to 11. Yeah, again, Reciprocity. Man, it's a different look from them from last week. Last week against EXG on the defensive side, they wanted to get aggressive, they wanted to take gunfights, and it honestly looked like they just weren't winning gunfights that they wanted to take against EXG on the defense on Clubhouse. This game, they start out quite regimented, quite stilted in their defense. Then they flick to a flexible setup and they grab 2 rounds, but now it's Rise storming back with another 3 in a row. Seems like the information that Rise have at their disposal, having both the Yokais and the Evil Eyes with mirror windows. I mean, you've got all 3 of them in play right now for Rise. Seems like the bans hurt Reciprocity more than they've hurt Rise right now. It seems like Reciprocity have no interest in clearing out some of that utility either. Not bringing an IQ for the Yokais, never really did anything to deal with the Evil Eyes either that were looking down long desk, constant purview there. The mirror windows fully intact, they're not bringing Hibana for those. Seems like Reciprocity are trying to force something that they're just not prepared for yet in a plant.
Yeah, and that admin take is just not great with the operators that you have. You know, I'm someone that loves the admin take, but also knows that at times when you don't bring the correct ops for it because you weren't expecting it, you're expecting to go for a top floor assault, then, you know, I mean, you should have been looking at the previous round, right? But still. Vandal's playing pretty up close here. This is not your usual position for the Mira. Rise want to keep Reciprocity on their toes, and if they can keep sniping off those drones, they won't even require the mute in this situation. Thermite is already able to destroy the side of the panels there into the garage. Fox will take a bit of damage, but at least this will force back Rise for just a bit, because they were ready to pounce.
Seemingly the antithesis of what Reciprocity were bringing, which was that peel-back style of defense. Not investing any manpower inside of Garage. This time it was Rise with 3 members of the team inside of the Garage, but now they all fall back as that first panel gets opened up. It was enough contention, though, to burn almost half the clock on the round. But now 2 panels will be opened up. They still have this nice little column in the middle. A hot reach in from Fox as he heads to the top floor, and he'll look top down from CEO, most likely. He's heading over to the hatch as well. He might just be droning out any potential flanks coming out from Rise.
Well, he can play this from above. We've seen this on the defense when you play a Vigil or an Alibi, most of the time Vigil in this situation, where you can put just 1 impact to the top, 1 impact below it, or you don't even need an impact for the piano because usually destroyed by the attackers, and just play the advantage by just being so far away that nobody can shoot you. Just shot in midair. There's C4, but not the second one. It's Hyper will connect, but Skies already finds another one. Refrag on to Vandal himself. Hyper the back with a Nitro cell. Laxing will peek up and find one on a Hyper. It's Crazy and Acid, the last 2 in. Acid will find one, but Skies moves in. And Retro with a refrag. 1v3 for Crazy. A lot of rounds in the mag, but that's Diffuser on the floor. This can really end Rise's way. Ella's gonna, well, not the Ella, the Zofia is gonna use her impacts there. Laxing will come in from the side by Spiral Staircase. Find the last kill. Reciprocity might be down, but they're not out just yet.
No, obviously. Very crucial round there for Reciprocity as you're on the brink of losing possibility of 3 points in this. And like we said, a run back, not out of the question for Reciprocity. We've seen them get hot just earlier on in this match, and we saw them get hot in a couple rounds against EXG last week as well. Just starting on their back foot and not really, I guess, starting on time, I guess is the key for me for Reciprocity this evening. A lobby defense now for Rise Nation as they don't want to reattempt the basement. They don't want to go back down to Garage, and they're also still locked out of the top floor. I noted heading in that we might see some Teller's Archives play, but neither of these teams really getting risky enough to head there. Even with the disposal of informational utility that they have, seems like just this time it'll be Vandal solely on one of those informational ops with the Evil Eyes inside of Circle Desk Office and the main lobby. It's hard not to talk about Reciprocity when you're talking about Laxing right now with 13 kills, but the rest of the team really not filing in.
He's got more than everybody combined. And this is 8 rounds, well, 9th round starting on. That's not good.
And again, it was Laxing with great effect on that round. Another 2 kills for him in that round.
He got the 4K, but it didn't matter.
No, it's, I don't know, it's Laxing again being the driving force for Reciprocity. Without Laxing, this could be over by now. It could have been a 7-0 or a 7-1. Thankfully for Laxing, or by the grace of Laxing, Reciprocity's still in this and have a possibility to come back. But the rest of the team needs to wake up. Not just in the kill department as well. You also saw in the last round Skies, when they have man advantage, pushing into Kitchen with Diffuser and surrendering it inside of Kitchen when no one was close to protect him on a plant. I'm not really sure what the game plan there was for Skies either. So it seems like simple mistakes coming out from Reciprocity, following the trend from last week as well.
Well, Reciprocity just taking their sweet time here. We're almost a minute down in the round. Fox has taken control of admin. Rest of the team will join in just a second. There's going to be a big party up in the admin room. Something we need to do here at the office, that's for sure.
I'm down.
Laxing setting up his drone in the meantime on the skylight to watch for any plays from there. A lot of times you'll see like a late round bandit or rogue or castle or pulse that is not present in this, that just walks up the spiral staircase and lands kills where they shouldn't be. Hyper in the bathroom just with no reinforcements nearby to support him, which is a bit odd. Usually there's something here. Not even into yellow, which is, again, odd. You're playing into lobby, you would have something to support a player in here because you're not really using many of your reinforcement on the bottom floor, right? Back of the wall is going to be opened up here from office into the stairs and give you all that beautiful line of sight. Flashbang in to burn away any ADSs, and there's nothing there. England just staying in the back behind the big table. He'll fall back before taking too much damage. Now, Retro is still nearby, can definitely land the shot and get the kill off.
England allowed to escape the connector, though. Could be a crucial mistake here for Reciprocity. They had the cross with Fox out on the A-bomb balcony, or what would be A-bomb. Sorry, that was Mark. But unable to collect the kill, and one of the Toxic Babes will be used to repel the ingress into meeting room. And now Retro on the console window is crazy, though. Will cut down Skies. He tries to push in through the lobby. You've still got Purview from the hatches down below. Foxy pushing up long desk. The Soul Man utilized to try and control England's progress back into meeting for that hatch control. The opposite side of the connector wall, back and forth. You've also got Retro upstairs no longer, as he'll meet his demise as he will fall to a headshot. Another one for Hyper upstairs. Acid collects as well. It's all falling apart for Reciprocity, and for the second consecutive week, they will surrender the possibility of 3 points, and they may go back-to-back with losses to the bottom of North America.
This is Rogue's wet dream, basically.
Okay. That's true, actually. You know, if Rogue... So Reciprocity lose this, I mean, they can't win now.
Because now next week, Rogue plays Reciprocity. If Rogue beats Rec, they might actually make it to the top 3 where they can really fight against Dark Zero and EG. They won't have the tiebreak, but what'll be the next game?
Reciprocity not winning this game, we'll just leave it at this.
Yeah.
It leaves a door open for Rogue when we kind of called everything but their funeral for LAN 30, 45 minutes ago.
Yeah. This was
not expected.
Yeah. And you were saying, oh, maybe, playing against Rise is more something it might be easier for you, which on paper, it does look like it.
Games aren't played on paper.
No. Imagine you're playing like Origami Rainbow Six. That'd be hilarious. Has anyone ever done Rainbow Six Operator Origami? Because everyone has like great artwork around the game, right? There's a lot of it out there. Great. Origami, Rainbow Six. That's what I want to see. Thank you very much. I'd be willing to buy it.
Well, it's Rise, guaranteeing themselves a point. They won't be able to move up the standings. They're still 6 points back of EXG.
Always look on the bright side of life.
They're still in a hole, but I mean, if it does come down to it, maybe this game is the difference maker of them being in that relegation spot or not. To have to play against the #2 seed coming out of North American Challenger League, which season is already well underway. It's a top floor defense for Rise now as they're allowed to head upstairs, and that'll be England falling immediately at the hands of Foxy. Repels up the connector window. Quite obvious angle to pre-fire. He'll remove the smoke from play, not 30 seconds into the round. A bad look for Rise to try and close things out here, but they'll have plenty of chances to do so if they aren't successful on this round. It's also been a couple times where Reciprocity has looked good in the beginning portions of a round and have it fall apart at the latter portions.
Skies continue in. This is something that Reciprocity has been doing quite consistently. Just spending quite a decent chunk of time droning on early on in the round, but what has happened so far is that they end up forgetting about this part of the game as the round progresses. They might have gotten, well now, the second kill off onto Vandal, but will be enough. Retro still set up on the window. You'd expect him to be on Skylight, but this is also a good position for him to play. After the damage was already done on the Skylight, Retro will find another one on to Hyper, Blackbeard or not. He can still do the work. The Para 308 is actually not too different from the Mark 17, so there you go.
The pace from Reciprocity expedited massively on this round. At the midway point, they were 5v2. They still remain at that man count. The smoke bolt's coming in from Retro and Nitrocell, though. Oh, he's going to make it in behind the desk. No, Crazy will connect. Mark will also be down on yellow, but pushing up long desk is again the saving grace for Reciprocity. Laxing, and now it's Crazy alone. Downstairs, Mark is still down. They could facilitate a revive onto him. The plant coming out with the pings through the floor. The Yokais again. Crazy with another victim, but there's so much time. They can get Mark back up. They can recover the diffuser. The only issue they will have is those Yokais being a constant nuisance. And no, Crazy looking to rotate out, and Laxing has it cut from the bathroom hallway. Or sorry, the bench hallway. Maneuvering back and forth. The diffuser recovered, another one for Crazy as Mark will fall. He's brought this down from a 1v4 to a 1v2, ripping right past Laxing in the bench hallway. He's making it all the way up Spiral. Laxing has no idea. Oh, he's turning the corner. Oh, and Laxing just narrowly evades the finishing blow from Crazy. Almost able to pull it down to a 1v1. The intuition from Laxing, knowing that there was a rotate happening behind him, possibly saves one of the biggest throws we would have seen all week.
Oh, yes. That's, again, a lot of people have this question, should you be able to operate the Yokais if you're not Echo? Or see through them? And
I mean,
Ping,
Acid could have just swapped back and forth, but...
Specifically Ping, because those pings were pretty instrumental, I want to say.
The ping change is huge. Also, having two Yokais was also the biggest change of them all.
It's pretty great.
I mean, they had a Yokai in each bomb site. All they had to do was watch them and see who's going to try and plant where. The only problem with that plant would have been planting on the desk. Would have thrown a corkscrew into the plan of ping them and shoot them through the floor.
Yeah, not existing is something that definitely would do just a thing.
Kind of how she goes.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Rob.
Desks are fun. Desks are bulletproof. That's what I've learned from Siege.
We can try with this desk.
Are we going to get shot?
No, we're going to shoot it from the other side.
So what? I'm going to stand underneath the desk, and you're
yes.
shoot the desk.
Yes.
And see if I die.
Yeah, it's like you start off with smaller bullets and work your way up. It builds immunity.
I mean, that's
like
one way to get rid of me. You don't want me here. There's other ways.
No, I want you here. You know.
Sure. You do.
It's the most sure I've ever been in my entire life.
Anyway, back to the game. Still 6-4 lead. Reciprocity need to win another 2 to claim at least 1 point and salvage the game. If not, they'll walk away with nothing. But Rise have guaranteed themselves at least 1 point in this, and putting on a show like this against Reciprocity, it seemed like I don't even want to say aggression, just the pace. The expedition of the pace last round for Reciprocity seemed monumental in changing the course of the round. Rise just not equipped to handle that kind of pressure coming at them so quickly. And again.
What? Okay.
Kind of the same repel, honestly, from Foxy. This time on the A windows instead of the connector window, but I mean, he might have been on cams. Foxy had the electronics detector out.
Where is? Yeah, but it's Mira. Where was she? Where's her? Yeah. Oh my. Why are you there? This is just fuel to the fire of Pengu's tweets.
Oh, God. All right. It's a minute in, now you've lost Acid. It's a different anchor, and honestly, England being alive will still be able to hold out the onslaught of pressure coming out from Reciprocity a little better than Acid would have been able to. But the Toxic Babes need to be deployed and timed correctly, and pings on to Vandal pushing up yellow stairs, and he'll lose almost half his life to the pair of Retro, and there comes a frag grenade come flying in from the yellow skylight of Mark. So now Hyper downstairs looking to do some damage on a flank. You've also got Crazy over by Spiral Stairs, so it's just England alone on the objective. A similar scene from what we saw last round.
Yeah, well, a lot of utility has been used to clear out the Maestro, but still, you put in the bigger picture, it's 2 operators not taken away, your 2 main anchors, right? You still have the smoke that's in, but the smoke, and Hyper will not play anything to chance. He believes that he might have been spotted, so destroys the drone and runs away, and Marcus looking into the rotation in yellow. Laxing comes around to admin. This is great from Reciprocity. They realize they have the advantage in numbers. So what do? They send 1 player to the flank. And it's usually your more expendable operator in these sorts of situations. Laxing will just go for the flank. There's nobody here to stop him. And I'm not even sure that anybody from Rise even knows that he's there. And there you go. He'll find the smoke. He'll drop on down. And it's all clear. Laxing will find another one. A freebie onto Crazy. And now it's Skies with the kill on Hyper. Reciprocity will take round number 11 and a potential second tie for the day. Coming right up.
It was all Rise, and suddenly Reciprocity found the keys. They were able to try and put the car back in gear. So I'm going to make as many car puns as I possibly can for the rest of this game.
In the rear with the gear.
1 round remaining. Pedal to the metal here for Reciprocity as they try to salvage.
Is that more of a truck driver thing?
I guess. I don't know.
It's the same thing. It's a motor vehicle.
I don't know American proverbs. But anyway, downstairs, the site of one honestly handed loss that Rise took on their first couple defensive rounds. We'll head back downstairs as the top floor unsuccessful consecutively. It's a little scary here. Honestly, if I were Rise, I'd probably head to the lobby. That was where they had the most success, really, with the visibility of the yokais, and honestly, that top floor holdout as well was massive. It seemed like Reciprocity just couldn't get any progress going upstairs in their admin take, but Laxing, 17 kills, man. He's keeping them in it. Without Laxing, this is a very different game. This game was done a long time ago. So, take a look at the rest of the scoreboard, though, for the other players in the lobby. It's not just the Laxing show. Obviously, the rest of Reciprocity finally filling in some depth positions on the kill leaderboard, but you've also got Hyper. He's at 13 kills when it was a 6-3. He's still at 13 now that it's a 6-5. So he's been a little quiet lately, and that's honestly been another thing that's happened with Rise is their entire team has gone a little quiet in the kill department, and the response to the quickened pace from Reciprocity. Back-to-back rounds, Reciprocity are on Windows, on Rappel, and firing at you within 30 seconds. It seemed like Rise and their setups were just taking a little too long and not prepared in back-to-back rounds for that quickened attack from Reciprocity.
Yeah, probably something to say as well, that they were just more comfortable on the attacking side, right? Same thing for Reciprocity, where they are more comfortable on that side as well. Well, how will this go? There's no mute to stop the information being gathered, and Reciprocity, at least Mark here, will set up to open up the doorway. He needs Laxing to support him just in case. They just keep checking the drones to make sure that they have a beat on the one player that they have to look into, which is one standing behind the car. I'm not too sure who it is, but...
Well, Hyper woke up.
Oh, hello. That's cool. Cool. So that's an easy kill here for Hyper to find Laxing. That's really the most important operator and the most important player, I want to say, so far in the match for Reciprocity, and it's been taken away. Yokai drones are being ferried around as Fox will have a harder time to spot them, but he does know exactly where one of them is, and he knows the second one is behind the white van. So it's also something to keep in mind later on in the round, something for Fox to have for the end of it.
You already had a man disadvantage here for your Reciprocity. You've also got the Evil Eye at the bottom or underneath the white van that you've got another member who's currently Retro occupied with that opening up and possibly doing some damage if at any point Reciprocity try and push in for a plant. And like you said, you've lost Laxing, honestly your best player of the evening, and a frag grenade will go soaring in, and it will not connect. The Evil Eye will remain standing. The drone's confirming this. Another frag grenade coming out from Marcus. He'll go for round 2. And he still won't connect. It's not able to drop down the ledge. It's still getting caught up in those boxes in the depths, and now Smokes will come out. It's going to be a last-ditch attempt here for Reciprocity to salvage a point.
Now there's Crossbow Bolt, 2 of them actually used in the back, as they will do no damage to Rise. The C4 will connect from Hyper on a Fox. Now Retro to move in. He pre-fires to the side, but there's another C4 ready from Vandal. He'll come out and will actually not connect. Retro still going in for the plant. They know where the Capitao is, and it's everything being pinged here. All you need to do is just stop the diffuser from being planted, and they'll be successful in doing so. Crazy, the finisher on Retro. Vandal with an extra frag onto Mark. Leaves Skies all on his own versus the 4, and is being tased and teased. Buys the Maestro Evil Eye. So little time left on the clock. Rise Nation looking to clock out at this game. Acid will find the last one. GG, well played. Now that's Rise Nation to secure their, what, second victory in Pro League so far? Yeah, yep. 3 points.
Their first one was, what, a 7-2 against SSG? 7-1 against SSG?
Yeah, which was a pretty, like, crazy thing to even talk about.
It was the last game of the season, week 7. Yeah. Or last game of the first half of the season.
Yeah, it was 7-1 against SSG. They played Consulate, actually. Specifically this map. Oddly enough, at the... Okay, I believe...